as we say every single Monday morning, it is a vibe. What is up, nerds? It's me, your buddy Pal Hey Archer. Welcome back to Nerdy Coffee here on Nerd Affiliated. So happy to see all of you. So happy to see all of you every week for every episode, for every show, and every pre-recorded video, and every TikTok, and every Instagram, and every DM, and every text message. Happy to see you guys every single day of my life, and I hope that we can do that for you. This is your weekly Monday morning nerdy show where we sit back, relax, just, deal with the fact that it's Monday once again, and enjoy a nice, I said that weird, enjoy a nice, hot, actually it's not too bad today, but still, a nice hot cup of brew and talk about the news. Ooh. The first one always just hits just right. Just feels so good. I say this every week. I say a lot of things every week, but we do have a lot to talk about today. It was a busy week in the nerd world. I feel like I have like 5-ish bullet points, and it will take an hour to do it. I bet you. I bet you. But, of course, if you have a YouTube channel, podcast, blog, vlog, OnlyFans, newsletter, smoke signals, whatever it may be, put it in the chat. Support one another. Plug yo shits. As I said, good morning. So happy to have all of you here with me today. Before I start flying through the comments, if you could do so, if you could be so kind, hit the like button, hit subscribe if you've not done so. And if you're listening on your favorite podcast platform, come over to YouTube. The water's fine. Drop a like and subscribe as well. Say hi to LeBron in the house. Good to see you, brother. Actually, looking at my YouTube app, let me see who the app says was the first person. So my app says Cutthroat was first today. Ecamm says LeBron was first today, so you guys can fight it out. See who was first. But good to see you, Cutthroat, as well. Everybody's saying hi to each other. I know Rolando was in there too, but he's not on my list yet. But T3's in the house. Good to see you. Yeah, shout out to Rolando, always plugging everyone else's channels, sharing links, doing all that fun stuff. We appreciate you a million times over. I'm ready, just got up in time. There you go. That's what it's about. There are some days you just don't want to get out of your nice warm bed. It's true. It's true. Especially like this morning, I woke up before the alarm, which is kind of a normal thing. I feel like it's an old man thing to do. You set like an emergency alarm, but you normally wake up way before it. And I woke up and like it was just like dark as hell in the room. Both the cats were just there chilling. I was like, just kind of want to stay here. Kind of want to just stay here. T3 says, good morning. No work for me today. Wow. But I couldn't miss an episode of Nerdy Coffee. Lucky. JB in the house. Good to see you. He says Target's opening up early for holiday hours. Yes, they are. But he is listening at work. And make sure you guys show all the mercy. Not you guys directly that I'm talking to here, like in the chat. Because you guys, you know the deal. But for anybody else who may be listening, show mercy on your retail friends out there. Whether it's somebody you know who works in retail or even just when you go to a store, show mercy. It is the holidays. The holidays can be a savage time because people are mean. They want what they want now. They forgot to buy a gift, so now it's your problem that they forgot to buy a gift. It's a whole thing. So show mercy on your friends during this retail season, during every retail season, I have to say. And if you have a friend who maybe doesn't want to hang out all the time, who works in retail during the season, they probably just need to decompress. Don't take it personal. Do not take it personally. Everybody's saying hi to each other. There goes Rolando. Good to see him. He's doing the Lord's work right there. I feel like I missed. There you were. Yukon Phil in the house. Good to see you. Dwight in the house. It's been a hot minute. Good to see you. Good to see you. Grind Legacy. Always on the move. I love that. Rolando says, I have Rogue Toys in Utah. Are you going to see, you going to a new toy shop? Rogue Toys? If you guys don't know, Rolando doesn't put out YouTube videos, but he posts toy hunts on Instagram. So make sure you follow Rolando over there. LeBron says, wait, Archer can see me. I need pants. I see all. I'm the all-seeing eye. Patrick in the house. Good to see you. Know your craft. The man collects in the house. Good to see you. Sal's in the house. There you go. There you go. LeBron's on Twitch too. Double duty. Boom, boom. T3 says, I don't miss working in retail. Yeah. It's funny. I worked in retail. That's weird. LeBron's saying the picture's clear on Twitch. Can somebody else verify? Can somebody else just head over to Twitch and see if it looks different? Going back to the retail comment, I did like not odd jobs, but I did retail jobs like part-time in various parts of my life during school, college, to be more specific. And when I graduated college, I was like, I'm never going back to retail. Like, it's just not happening. End up needing some extra cash. I end up getting a part-time job at Best Buy, and I'm not going to lie, I enjoyed it. Made a lot of good friends, some of my best friends over at Best Buy. But then even then I was like, I don't know if like that's going to be my route, my path. End up falling into retail again and ends up being my full-time job. And I got to say, depending on the store, depending on where you are, is it a mall? Is it an outdoor space? There's pluses and minuses to it. I think the only thing I hate about retail that most retail employees will tell you is it's hard to have a personal life if that's your job. Because in retail and the service industry specifically, it's your job to work when everybody else is not working, because that's when they come to need your service. So that's the only downside to it. But what I do like about retail is just talking to people. You get to meet all kinds of people, different people all the time. Every day is different, different problems to solve. There's lots of fun things to it. So retail has its ups and downs for sure. Dave's Dimension in the house. Good to see ya. Yukon says, retail's awful. Black Friday at retails is the third level of hell. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Some people are just nasty. Just hot take here. Hot take. I've said this probably in every retail job, and this may come across offensive, but if you wait all year specifically for Black Friday to buy gifts, and I think nowadays people are buying stuff for themselves. I don't think they're really buying gifts per se. I've noticed that over the last like 10 years of working in retail. I feel like that's some real, like, how do I phrase this? I was gonna say like broke people shit, but not broke like you don't have any money. It's like petty. Like a lot of companies, especially the last 2 years with, the economy doing what it's doing, a lot of companies have done tons of sales. Random freaking April sale. Random, it's almost the 4th of July sale. Oh, it's the 4th of July sale. Oh, 4th of July just passed sale. Like, everybody's doing sales. Like, there's no reason for the, like, mobbing stores. I remember driving back home from New York. We passed a couple outlets, and there were, like, rows of cars getting to the outlets. Target, like, I remember I wanted to stop at Target to get some paper towels, and it was on Black Friday. I forgot it was Black Friday. And the mall was mobbed, just mobbed. And I'm like, what wild savings do you think you're getting today that you didn't have the opportunity to get before, and that you don't think you're getting again? Like, this isn't 2005. This isn't 1999. Like Turbo Man was there all year. He's not there just on Black Fridays. Chill. So, little soapbox rant there. Sal said, odd jobs like Norm Macdonald and Dirty Works. There you go. R.I.P. Rip. LeBron says they shop year round. Yeah, exactly. And T3 says the picture is the same on YouTube and Twitch. Boom. There you go. But all right. Time to get to work. Take one more sip. One more. There you go. And of course, if you've not done so, make sure you head over to nerdaffiliated.com. There you'll find links to everything we do. I forgot to take this video off there. But you'll find links to all of our live shows, our most recent videos, our most recent shorts, links to all the channels. You can, of course, hear the audio-only podcast there as well. Listen on Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere. And you can, of course, hit up the Nerd Affiliated store, pick up some cool merch. And I believe you still have time to get it before Christmas. So if you did want to give somebody some Nerd Affiliated gear, you still have time. You still have time. But, all right. Let's figure out what to cover first. A lot of things kind of stay intertwined. So I might, yeah. Give me 1 second to look something up. Here we go. All right. So it's almost impossible to not make this a Disney-filled episode, in full transparency, because I feel like Disney just kept coming up, and underneath Disney, you have Marvel. So, you know, Marvel's part of Disney. It's like all same shit. And then as I go into box office, we still go back to Disney. We still go back to Marvel. So it's a hard one. It's a hard one to figure out how to split this episode up. So what we'll do, we're gonna be a little we're gonna go against the grain here, and I'm gonna lead off with box office recap. So this is our weekly check of the box office to see what's going on and if anything new came out. And last week, that was Renaissance by Beyonce. A lot of news outlets were pointing to this movie, concert, documentary, whatever you want to call it, as a way to like give the movie, I don't want to say give the movie industry like a shot of adrenaline, but like give it another like electroshock, like just like poosh, like will that do it? Will that do it? You know, we had the Taylor Swift movie that came out earlier this year. Going over to our movie tracker. So Taylor Swift opened up at $92 million. We'll round it up to 93 for a total of 248. So Beyonce did not take out Taylor, nor did it build on Taylor. 21 million, not the best. I'm sure for some people it was nice to like have a night out, go to the movies, do all that. As far as the production value of the movie, similar to the Taylor Swift movie, I'm going to guess it didn't cost that much to make. $20 million was what it cost to make the Taylor Swift movie. So by the rule of two, $40 million is what it needed to probably break even and hit a profit. So if we assume that Beyonce's movie also took $20 million, right now they are halfway there. $27 million worldwide. We'll see. We'll see. Now, Godzilla -1, just to highlight that one. I'm hearing good things. I'm hearing good things about Godzilla -1. So if you saw that, definitely let me know your thoughts on the movie. But the notorious, the infamous, the Marvels. All right. I'm almost getting tired of talking about. I'm getting tired of talking about this movie. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. I still haven't seen it. I'll see it when it's on Disney Plus, which I feel like is most people, if they even care at this point. I listened to Robot Head's breakdown is being polite. To describe that video on the Marvels. And if the plot is anything similar to what he was talking about, God. So right now, the Marvels is at 197 worldwide. And right now, we estimated the budget at $200 million. So right now, they're about to hit, quote unquote, budget. But 400 is what they would need to clear the hurdles. Opened up at 46 million. I had it last week at 76 million. Right now it's at 80 million. But there's some tomfoolery afoot. Hence why I said hence why I said doing this episode is going to be weird. I'm going to be like jumping segments here. So right now we see the Marvels at 197.35. This article drops yesterday. The Marvels ends box office run. I feel like that sounds weird. As lowest grossing MCU movie in history. So upon reading that headline, you would assume, all right, they're pulling the Marvels out of theaters. That is not the case. After 4 weeks on the big screen, the comic book movie tentpole is running out of steam with 80 million in North America and 197 million globally. There would typically be optimism that attendance could rebound over the busy holiday season, but Disney apparently doesn't expect that to be the case. Obviously, the studio wrote on Sunday in a note to the press, with the Marvels box office now winding down, we will stop weekend reporting of international global grosses on this title. Okay. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that. It might sound ignorant. I'm not sure. I don't work in the movie industry, obviously. But I didn't think that a company could just be like, we're just not going to report anymore, how a movie's doing, especially a publicly traded company. I feel like that doesn't make sense. And at this point, your movie only continues to make more money week over week. It's not going to lose money. Like they're not going to issue refunds on the movie. So why even stop reporting what it's doing? That doesn't make any sense to me. It very much seems like shady to me to say we're just not going to report global numbers anymore on this movie. The film isn't leaving theaters just yet, and the 220 million plus budgeted tentpole is expected. Why do I keep calling it a tentpole? Is expected to play through New Year's. However, This memo signals the Marvels is not expected to generate notable coinage during the rest of December. Over the weekend, the movie tumbled to 11th place on the box office charts with just $2.4 million in its fourth outing. Jenna Kenobi in the house, good to see ya. T3 says he's seen the movie 4 times. Hey, I mean, if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. I can't throw flags on the play yet like Ahsoka until I see it. I feel like Ahsoka is one of those where, like, again, if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. But if you say it's an actual good show or one of the best shows, then that's a problem. That's just like, come on. So I don't know about that here. It's just shady. The whole thing is just, I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way. It rubs me the wrong way. Now, continuing, we're going to head from Variety. We're going to take a quick detour to Vanity Fair before going back to Variety. Bob Iger blames the Marvel's box office failure partially on lack of set supervision. In a new interview, Disney CEO also said the company has made too many sequels lately and that waiting for a film to hit streaming is a lot cheaper than seeing it in theaters. No shit. No shit. The reason that's funny to me and the reason that it's kind of annoying is I'm going to give you an analogy. In the real estate world, right? Currently, interest rates are at a what 15-year high or something like that, like 10-year high. I think it's 15, not all time, but like 15 or so. Real estate interest rates are at a high, and if you're trying to buy a new place, obviously you're going to see that prices are up overall. But a real estate agent would tell you that no, now's a good time to buy. The prices are lower than they were last year. And then you may say, well, the interest rates are higher than last year. So aren't I paying more money? No. Listen, you can't time it. You can't time the market. Just do it. Now is always a good time to buy. It's their job to sell real estate. They're going to tell you no matter what's happening, now's a good time to buy real estate. They don't give a shit what it does to you financially as long as they can get paid. It's not, and this isn't really a knock on them. That's their job, right? That's just what they do. Seeing Bob Iger now make a comment like that after them for the last 3 years, oh, in theaters only, in theaters only, in theaters only. For what? For what? The people have been telling you, stop it. Like, do not continue to push this car down the road. The car is broken. Figure out the new path. Pretty sure I talked about it when he came back. I'd have to go back a couple episodes. But it's time to stop pushing the movie theater thing. Acknowledge that streaming is the new option. It's the new preferred option. So he comes out, makes a comment like that. In a recent interview at the New York Times Deal Book Summit, Iger listed a lack of supervision on the film's set due to the COVID pandemic as one reason for the flop. The Marvels was shot during COVID, Iger said. There wasn't as much supervision on set, so to speak, where we have executives that are really looking over what's being done day after day after day. Elsewhere in the interview, Iger noted the company has to find a reason beyond commerce for making sequels, admitting that Disney has made too many and now will only greenlight a sequel if we believe the story is worth telling.
Boo! Boo! Rubbish! Filth! Slime! Muck! Boo! Boo! Boo!
No shit, Sherlock. There's a reason people push against rebooting, remaking Back to the Future. There's a reason Indiana Jones should not have had yet another sequel. And dare I say, these things are because of the execs. Like that's how you can't go to your team, tell them, make me another Indiana Jones. I know the story kind of wrapped up, but make me another one, and then another one. And then if it fails, you're like, it failed because I wasn't there to watch them do it. There was no other story to tell. And with the Marvels, you can't say, oh, it's because we weren't keeping our eyes on it. You didn't even read the room. All you saw was Captain Marvel made $1 billion. So we're going to find a story to tell. Because obviously people must love this movie. So we're going to make another one. I think that these studios need to, and I think some do, but these studios really need to like read some reviews, watch some reviews, listen to some shows as they're in the decision-making process of, will we make another movie? Will we make a movie? Do people even want to see this? There are exceptions to the rule, of course. If you had sat me down and sat execs down and said, all right, let's do research and see if we should make a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, probably would tell you no. I tell you there was nothing in the fridge there. There's nothing to this. Nobody cares. But we were wrong. You're always allowed to be wrong. An example of one where I think they saw it and they said, we're going to stop while we're ahead. Hobbs and Shaw. Hobbs and Shaw actually made money. It actually made money. But I don't doubt that a reading of the room existed. And it was like, you know what? Let's stop this fighting between Vin and The Rock. Rock, you just do your own thing. We're going to keep going with the Fast and Furious. Thank you. We all made some money. See you later. And sure enough, down the road, he ends up coming back. So I think it could happen. It could happen where people do read the room. But it's, to me, the Bob Iger thing, it's just like everything's revisionist. Oh, yeah, obviously it didn't work. People don't want to go to theaters. No shit. Oh, obviously it didn't work. We didn't have any other stories to tell. No shit. It's like movie making 101. But whatever. Continuing, we're going to go back. We're getting back onto the highway, heading to Vanity Fair. We have a follow-up. We have a follow-up to something we talked about 2 weeks ago. Now, again, very Disney, very Marvel heavy episode. I made the conclusion through lots of meditating in the Force that I believe that there are some directors out there, maybe actors, I don't know, but there's some directors out there that intentionally tank a movie or intentionally do something they probably wouldn't do if it was like a passion project, right? And the video did decent on YouTube. People agreed. Some disagreed. Some said you were a madman. But the person in question in that video was Taika. Person B was Rob Zombie. People definitely went at him in the comments. But the person in question was Taika Waititi. And not even that I hated him for it. I was just like, I feel like Love and Thunder was so different from what he normally does. I feel like he wanted out. And I feel like he did this on purpose. Again, they would call me a madman. This article comes out. Taika Waititi had no interest in directing a Marvel movie, took Thor Ragnarok because he was poor and it was a great opportunity to feed his kids. By the way, I see you guys commenting. I will get back to that. I didn't want to like detour too much. Remember, we're on this highway. And then I run into too much overtime. But I'll get to the comments. Taika Waititi revealed on a new episode of of the Smartless podcast, which on YouTube they have not updated to have this, so I don't have the audio. That he had no interest in joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a director. The filmmaker has directed 2 MCU movies in 2017's Thor Ragnarok, which is widely considered one of the best Marvel movies, and in 2022's Thor Love and Thunder, I would say Thunder, weird. Thunder, which is one of the franchise's most polarizing. The Oscar winner said he originally accepted the Ragnarok gig for money, as he just had his second child. You know what? I had no interest in doing one of those films, Waititi said. It wasn't on my plan for my career as an amateur, but I was poor and I just had a second child. And I thought, you know what? This would be a great opportunity to feed these kids. Can't knock the guy. And Thor, let's face it, it was probably the least popular franchise. Not wrong, he continued. I never read Thor comics as a kid. That was the comic I'd pick up and be like, eh. And then I did some research on it, and I read one Thor comic, or 18 pages, or however long they are, and I was still baffled by this character. When asked if Marvel execs were scared to bring him in, Waititi answered, I think there was no place for them to go with that. I thought, well, they've called me in. This is really the bottom of the barrel. Thor Ragnarok ended up earning a critically acclaimed Thor Ragnarok ended up earning critical acclaim and $853 million at the worldwide box office. Thor Love and Thunder topped out still strong at $760 million worldwide. Waititi recently told Business Insider that he would most likely not return to direct another Thor movie because his slate is booked for the next 6 or so years. I know that I won't be involved, he said about Thor 5 directing duties. I'm going to concentrate on these other films that I've signed on for, but I love Marvel. I love working with them. I love Chris. So, I'm sorry. I'm taking that as a cosign. There was a lot of just fuck it. My man was just like, fuck it. And it's interesting because I wonder, somebody in the comments mentioned Kevin Feige at one point. Like I said, I'm not reading all the comments because I don't want to get distracted. But I wonder if they were like, all right, we need a new direction. Let's find a new director, someone fresh eyes, hasn't been tainted by the machine. They see Jojo Rabbit or they see Hunt for the Wilder People, and they're like, I like how this guy does humor. Bring him in. We definitely need more humor in our MCU. So they brought in Taika. And I gotta say, for Ragnarok, I know that I know now it's a divisive movie. I thought everybody loved it. People don't like it. A lot of you in the comments have said you don't like it. I enjoyed it because it was so different from the other ones. I enjoyed the humor in it. But that's where, even to Bob's comments before, if there's no other story to tell, it's just time to stop. And they couldn't stop themselves. They're like, let's just another Thor. And at that point, I would even question if Taika watched Endgame or Infinity War. Honestly, like maybe as he's editing the movie, he watches those, but the Thor you saw in Love and Thunder seems like Thor seems like he just left Ragnarok, but not even the end of Ragnarok, like further in the beginning of the movie. Like there's this arc of Thor growing up that just is taken out when you get to Love and Thunder. So it feels like Taika just went in there and was just like, I'll just do whatever I want again, see what happens, because I kind of want to do some other movies. I don't even like this shit. So then who do you blame? I think the blame goes on Kevin. I feel like Kevin Feige, if ultimately, if you can't detect, if you can't read your director, if you can't read your employee and figure out that they don't want to be here, and you make them still be here, and you put so much on the line for them and for yourself and the company and the brand, I feel like that's on you. I feel like that's on you. So I was fucking picking shit when I saw this article come out, because I was like, it's exactly what we're talking about. I mean, not exact, but it's like adjacent to it. Did he tank it on purpose? Maybe not. But he surely did not give a fuck about Thor, about the franchise, about the storyline. He was just like, I'm just going to make a movie. I'm just going to make a movie. Yeah. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. All right, let me head back to the comments real quick. Again, apologies. I wanted to make sure I got through those things because they were so intertwined. And I didn't want to like deviate too far. Like I said, hi to General Kenobi. Cutthroat says, you think Disney is embarrassed by the Marvel's numbers at the box office? Yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%. Disney being shady? Never. Love that. Yep. It'll be gone after December. LeBron says, I'm looking forward to the TMNT and Five Nights at Freddy's sequel. Yeah. What I like about the TMNT plan, or what they said the plan was, is there will be another movie, but there's also going to be a TV show. So I'm interested to see how they do on the TV show front. I'm curious to see, like, I feel, and you guys can let me know if you agree or disagree. I think this movie, similar to the OG 1990, it had jokes in there that appeal to kids and adults. Teen Titans Go, surprisingly enough, jokes that appeal to kids and adults. I'm wondering if they keep that on the TV show, or if they're like, we really need to work on getting more kids here. Like, we're not getting a lot of kids into the franchise. Let's make it more kiddie, less, appealing to both. And I say that's specifically off of what I hear parents talk about, like when parents mention what their kids like are watching and enjoying. I don't really hear Turtles coming up. And like a lot of you, when we peruse the toy aisles, what's fully in stock, overflowing on all the overhead shelves? Turtles. And not the Turtles that we like. That's what it took. A flop after flop. Yeah. Anthony in the house, good to see you. T3 says, don't expect Feige to bring Taika back for anything Marvel in the future after that podcast. Yeah. Or you do, right? Maybe Kathleen doesn't do this. Like, Kathleen would never bring somebody in who wasn't a yes man. And I think that's evident by the amount of directors that have come and gone over all the properties or the Star Wars projects that she's had. If I was Kevin, I'd be like, all right, you know what? If you were to do a Marvel movie, right? Like, what do you want to do? Like, what would you want to do? And, he's like, dude, I don't want to make a Marvel movie. I don't want superhero, blah, blah, blah. I want to tell a story about a kid or a guy learning to not be so hard ass and learning that it's okay to be human. And he goes, great. I want you to do that, but I want you to pick a hero and do that for the hero. I won't even bother you. You do whatever you want to do. I would probably take another shot at it. But I would make it a brand new character. but be like, hey, you know what? Look it up, find a character, and then you get back to me if you want to do it in a week. Think about it for a week, and a week from now, you're like, you know what, man? There's nobody out there has a story I want to tell. Great, have a nice day. Appreciate all you did for us. But I just wouldn't force another Thor on him. I would be like, you pick something, maybe a short, maybe a what if episode. But I think Taika he definitely has skills. I like him as a director. I like his scripts. I like his storytelling. I like I said, Reservation Dogs. Give it a watch. It's fun. It's a fun, serious show at times. Find somebody that he can do that with. A character. Scorched Earth it is, yeah. It's true. It's true. At least Taika is being honest instead of covering the Lat story flop. Yeah. LeBron says he lost respect for him. I can understand that. I don't knock that. T3 says, I just rewatched Thor Love and Thunder. That's interesting. Last week, and I can say it's far worse than the Marvels. It doesn't have any redeeming qualities. Yeah. Sorry, my audio keeps like phasing in and out of my headphones. So if you guys can let me know if it's tripping right now on your end. Like I said, I keep saying like I said, I'm sorry. Back when we reviewed Love and Thunder, I think the only part I enjoyed of that movie was the black and white sequence. I feel like that was the one time when they were like, all right, let's actually try acting. See what happens. Ragnarok, still one of my favorite Marvel movies. There you go. LeBron says, Love and Thunder made it hard to get excited about MCU stuff, and I've enjoyed some, but yeah. Did Ecamm freeze? Like, it froze on my end for a second. Yes, said audio's goodness. All right, cool. Cool. What's up, Steve? Good to see you. Yeah, like it keeps like my mouse even spins sometimes. All right, so I'll start trying to wrap it up soon. The Man Collect says Christian Bale was the only good part of Love and Thunder, in my humble opinion. Yeah. I mean, he showed up. Christian Bale is one of my favorite actors all time. And I was sad to hear he's actually shorter in real life than you would expect. But Christian Bale, I feel like, similar to Terminator Salvation, showed up, was like, I'm going to act. I'm going to be Christian Bale. And everybody else was like pulling the Harrison Ford Star Wars thing, like, dude, it's a kid's movie. And he's like, no, I'm an actor. They did Christian Bale dirty in that movie. But like I said, the black and white sequence into the final sequence of the movie, I thought everybody did good. And if the first 80% of the movie was a different movie, I thought the ending was great, minus the, we're passing mantles bullshit. But, and the passing of the powers, that was also stupid. But, I think Christian Bale did a great job. I think he did a great job considering what he was given. So, yeah. All right. My shit is tripping balls. And I don't know why. Cool. All right. Since we're running out of time, we're going to do our crowd fund updates. Before I do that, let's see. We had one other bit of Marvel news that came up last week. And I feel like people are split on this, and I was surprised. Spoiler alert for the latest issue of X-Men Blue, Origins #1. So Nightcrawler apparently has been dressing up as Spider-Man. Mutants are under attack. Mutants are being persecuted. So from my understanding, he's dressing up as Spider-Man to hide his identity. I don't know how that works because you have a tail and you have powers and you're jumping around. Anyway, so there's this whole shit going on with Mystique and her losing her not losing her memories, but her brain is like something's going on with Mystique, right? And she ends up having this one-on-one with Kurt, and they're talking about, you know, her only love of her life, the woman that she wanted to be with and couldn't be, and et cetera, et cetera. And we all knew that Nightcrawler was the son of Mystique, but we didn't realize Mystique was the father and not the mother in that scenario. So they retconned how Nightcrawler came to be, and in a way also retconned, not retconned, but went into more detail how Mystique's powers work. So when Mystique transforms, we know her. I'll say it how I used to remember it as a kid. You have Mystique, you have Morph. Mystique can change to look like whoever she wants to look like. Morph, as far as the cartoon went, might be different in comic books, but Morph could change, transform, but also had some powers at times. I could be wrong here, but I remember he even had claws at one episode when he fought Wolverine, but you know, they broke, they weren't the same material. But Mystique can more just change her appearance. But it turns out Mystique isn't necessarily a shapeshifter in changing appearance. She's more of a gene shifter. Like, Mystique can actually change her organs, her chromosomes, her DNA. She changes everything. It's not just appearance. So that's how they went about explaining that she was Nightcrawler's father, because her and the woman she was in love with wanted to have a kid. She wanted to do that for her, so she changed into a man. They conceived Nightcrawler. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was stupid. I thought it was one of those where it's like, did anybody really ask for more details on how Nightcrawler came to be? Like, I don't think so. I could be wrong. I feel like this might be one of those like subtle, we're going to do something shocking to get people to read again. That proves to never work. It never works. Maybe it's an attempt to get a new audience. Don't think it's going to work. So I don't really understand the point of this. It's getting us talking about it, so success there, but it's just going to be a blip, and then we're back to normal. So I don't get the point of it. I think it's kind of silly, but I do think it's interesting to see that that's where her powers really are. I'd be curious to see how they build on that, her power set. Because the video I was watching, they were even saying technically she could be an Omega level mutant if she learned how to actually change her X genes as well, so that if I change into Cyclops, I now have Cyclops' powers. If I change into Wolverine, I have Wolverine's powers, you know? So I thought that part was curious about it. But the whole, like, oh, I was actually your father, blah, 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 it's like, I was like, all right, cool. Sure. What's up, Millennium? Good to see you. This is definitely a shock prop because I haven't heard X stuff doing good post Krakoa. I don't know what that is. Where was it? I saw somebody. Yeah, I want a figure of Nightcrawler Spider. Yeah, I heard a lot of people saying that. Is this in House of X storyline referring to Nightcrawler? Nope. Marvel storytelling lately are grasping at new straws. I say move on with New Mutant characters, in my opinion. Yeah. I don't even, I feel like every time they try that, it just doesn't work. I don't know the answer. I truly don't know the answer. I remember when they started the Ultimate Universe, I got back into reading comics for a while, and I liked the New Mutant stuff. I thought it was interesting, but it didn't hold my attention. At the end of the day, I'm going issue by issue, page by page, like waiting for like Wolverine to show up or Cyclops to show up, the characters that we love. So I don't know. I truly, when it comes to the comic book stuff, I don't know the answer. Sure as shit, similar to toy collecting, it's an old man's game now. Like, kids are not buying comics like that. So they got to figure out how to get the younger demographic back in, not how to get more people of our age bracket in. I feel like that's where they're potentially going wrong. But who knows? All right, heading into crowdfunding. We're going to head over to the Super 7 page first. The mothership is now at 1455. We have less than 8 days to go. They just announced here it is. Now you get the Viper officer and the Viper gunner officer in the base target. I got nothing. I got nothing on this. I'm sorry. Like I'll keep talking about it every week because it's, it is news. There's just nothing new to talk about because it's just not going. And I hope that Super 7 figures it out after this one. Don't just give us another crowdfund right away. They're trying, they're doing the whole like t-shirt thing. We still have the Ultimate series coming out. People have been talking highly of the Turtle wave coming out. But if I'm to give Super 7 one piece of advice, I don't make toys, so my advice is probably worth nothing to them. But as a casual person, if you wanted me back in the game, we got to stop the pre-order thing. We got to stop the pre-order thing and do something about those reaction figure prices. Right now, the reaction turtles at Target, at my local Target, they're on sale for $15. Thought about it. I think if they hit 10, I'm in. I'll get some of those turtles. But spending $20 on a 3 3/4 figure, not the move to me. And I've actually stopped buying Ultimates because I have so many on pre-order that still have not come to my house, and it's been over a year. So if I'm picking and choosing what I'm going to be spending my money on, especially when you got to pay up front, I'm not buying Bruce Lee on a pre-order that's going to come next year, maybe, and this might not even be the final product because this is just a 3D render. So I think this goes for Hasbro too, but more specifically Super 7. If you're showing me the figure, it needs to be final version, 6-month turnaround. maybe. But moving on to Hasbro. So the warehouse sale has ended. They are now showing the holiday gifting guide, where they've not really done anything other than maybe showing the best-selling items. By the way, the Captain Carter shield, I saw it in Target. Oh, also, head over to TikTok, Nerd Affiliated on TikTok, Nerd_affiliated, I believe. I think somebody took it. I've been posting my toy hunts there. And I actually did a 3-minute one. I didn't know TikTok let you do long form. I did a 3-minute, the month of November toy hunt over there on TikTok. So head over there and check it out. Oh, T3, I forgot about that. Thank you so much. Reaction figures going up in price with O-rings next year. I forgot about that. Is that on their website? Not here. Super 7 G.I. Joe O-rings. Let's see if I can find the part where he's talking about this with Pixel Dan. I tell you, I'm going to get myself blacklisted here.
That if you're paying attention to the Cobra Mothership, it comes with the Cobra Viper Gunner. We're taking that Cobra Viper Officer and we're going to bring him down to the base level and give him away as well, because we're going to have an O-ring party. This spaceship is for reaction and O-ring. So now the Mothership comes with 2 exclusive figures, which is the Viper Gunner and the Officer. So that's the first thing you're going to see.
Amazing.
And then in the fall, much like we had been doing in reaction, we're really going to look at the O-ring line and say, where has this line never gone before? What do you not have in O-ring? So we're talking about comic books. We're talking about Sunbow. We're talking about DIC, high school.
I just want to go back to see when he announces the O-ring.
No, this is great. I always love having you on here, and it's always fun to chat about.
Yes. So obviously, we have been for many years now, just as anybody that's paid attention to us working within G.I. Joe. We started out with reaction, and then we got into Ultimates, and actually we started technically with Super Cyborg, then reaction, then Ultimates, and we've been working with Hasbro for quite some time, really developing our relationship with them and showing them what we could do and what we were interested in. Obviously, from the get-go, ourselves as collectors, like everybody else, we're like, O-ring, let's go. And they're like, hey, I don't know if you're aware of this, but that's kind of our baby. That's what helped give birth to this company, the 12-inch G.I. Joes, and then the rebirth with the 3 3/4 Joes. Like it's really part of the DNA of Hasbro. So we've been working on it for a while, and we finally sort of cracked that door open a little bit leading into the Mothership, which we're working on a year plus ago, and getting them to approve and understand, yes, it's cool for these 2 groups within the reaction and O-ring to live together in that 3 3/4 scale. And we've just been working on it for a long time with them, and finally run with O-ring for a while. On shelf will be the first wave of G.I. Joe O-ring by Super 7.
That's amazing. That is
2024. On shelf will be
the
first wave.
Just so you guys can see what he's talking about. When he's talking G.I. Joe O-rings, he's talking like the OG figures. Do you remember how, the figures, they had the articulation in the legs, they can move up and down, left and right, all that stuff. But then like you had all that waist articulation, and you could also like you pulled on them, you could see like this rubber band in there. That's what he's talking about. That's what he's talking about.
Of G.I. Joe O-Ring by Super 7.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Wow. So brand new line of vintage style O-ring action figures. I love that. Obviously, that's huge news for the G.I. Joe community. So
it's been a long time coming for everybody.
Long time coming. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and you even kind of think about, right? There's questions at you now. And
do we know the price point?
I hope everybody watching understands that like this is breaking news. We're gonna get announcements as we get closer.
Like 20 bucks.
We're gonna get that, sound effect.
Yeah, the wah wah wah. I like that's what
exactly.
I guess I need to work on my sound effects.
We get the Funk Master Flex over in the corner. It is that now. It's like here's a line of O-ring. Here's 2 figures that come with it. Here's the vehicle you've never gotten before. Here's a whole bunch of new stuff you've never had, and it's going to be part of a much bigger sort of O-ring universe, if you will. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. EC says he's getting in on those. It's the price point, like if you were giving me the old school G.I. Joe figures, but like even like $20, man, you got to give me a whole lot. I mean, if a figure is that big, you need to give me a whole lot. We're beyond now there's cool packaging. Oh, it's a figure I'd never had before. Like we're past that point now. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I don't follow Pixel Dan. I don't like watch his videos. I also, like I said, I feel like I will permanently be blacklisted when it comes to toy collecting media stuff, because I don't know if I could fake being excited for that unless he was like G.I. Joe O-rings, $10 a figure. Be like, oh wow, that's wild. Like, how are you doing that? That's great. Because in order for any brand to grow, any line to grow, you always need new collectors entering the space. And I don't see a casual collector walking by Cobra Commander, because we saw it with the reaction figures. But so I don't see a casual collector walking by Cobra Commander now as an O-ring figure, seeing $20, $25 and being like, I'm in. I don't see it. Because here's the one thing I do hear. As I'm walking the toy aisles and I hear parents with their kids, I hear the men being like, whoa, $25. We're not buying that toy. And no, like, I hear that. I hear that now. So if you're going for the nostalgia bait and you're going to bring back a line that was beloved, you got to make it, you got to get it to a point that a casual person is like, I want to collect these. And I don't think $20 is it. EC says, I mean, if they're trash, then no, but I'm hoping they're good enough to buy them. Cutthroat says, is Super 7 going to do O-rings? Why doesn't Hasbro do O-rings themselves? I don't know. I mean, it could be cheaper for them to have Super 7 do the what do you call that? What's the acronym for the research, the RNA on it? But I don't know. I the most perplexing thing to me is the financial gain of the partnership between Super 7 and Hasbro. Really, really gets my, like, I would love to read that contract to see how does this work? How does this work? But all right, we're running out of time. Let's head back to Hasbro, check on the trap. We are also less than 8 days away, and we are currently at 16,894 backers. So we are just around 1,200 or under 1,200 backers to go to get all the unlocks. So now it's time for a stretch goal. As I shared on Instagram, I'm hoping that we get the carrying case they showed in the trailer for the 2-in-a-pack. I don't know if it actually works ergonomically because these things are massive, but that's what I was hoping for. The stretch goals are usually something that complements what we're getting. So it wouldn't be something like the goggles. It wouldn't be another wand. Maybe it is another cable so that you can hold the trap up without any issue. But they should make another goal, a 20,000 goal after it hits. They should announce it already. It should have already been announced, but 20,000 backer goal on this one. See what we get. Interesting. I was reading on the Ghostbusters Reddit page. Somebody found like an article or an interview from a couple years ago where somebody from Hasbro was talking. Oh, no. It was somebody from Hasbro in a Reddit page. They were talking about the Proton Pack. And we've talked about, they should do another one, maybe do like a OG movie one that's like clean. And apparently the HasLab Proton Pack was a pain in the ass for Hasbro. Like it disrupted everything. We saw the back end where it's, it sells what it sells. It's an amazing quality. The paint's great. Details are great. Awesome price point for what you're getting. We saw that part of it. But apparently on the production side, it was a pain in the ass. Absolute hell for Hasbro. So I don't think we're getting any more packs. I've suggested it before. I will continue to suggest it. They partner with Spirit Halloween. I mean, they already have if Spirit's making a Proton Pack. Because I think Ghostbusters is owned by Hasbro. No, that's not true. Sorry. That's a lie. Hasbro owns G.I. Joe and Power Rangers, not Ghostbusters. They own G.I. Joe and Transformers. But they should partner with Spirit and be like, all right, you guys keep making your packs. We're going to make things to complement your packs. Cut us a check. And we'll make stuff that people can add onto your suits or something. So we'll see. T3 says Cutthroat Super 7 pays for the license, and Hasbro's having way more success with the 6-inch line and failed at the 3 3/4-inch line not that long ago. Yes. So I understand that, but here's the thing. I don't know how Super 7's making enough money to keep paying for the license to make it worth paying for the license. That's where my brain is not computing. And Hasbro is even promoting Super 7 on their page, right? So maybe that's part of the deal. Like we'll even sell your stuff on our own. We'll do you buy the license. We'll help you out with shipping. You keep making figures. You send the figures to us. We'll sell them on our website, deal with the warehouse storage and all that stuff. But again, I would love to have these figures, but I don't know when I'm going to get them. And these are just 3D renders. So I'm kind of over it. 3 3/4 line is different than O-ring line though. People want O-ring. They do, but are there enough people out there? Like I know there's like Joe Fest. I know, us in the hardcore community, we love a good vintage action figure, but you need the Anthonys, the Sals, the Josh, who else is in the Mark that's here on Thursdays, Rolanda. Like you need, who else is like a casual collector? Even Millennium. Like you need something that's going to grab the casual collector, not just a hardcore collector. There's not enough 3 3/4 hardcore collectors. That's the problem. So we'll see. But we went into overtime as much as I didn't want to. We went into overtime, but we did it. We did it. Yeah, I don't really buy Super 7 Ultimates anymore. Human figures aren't that good by Super 7. For me, it's the only human figures. I have Lemmy on the way, I have Cliff Burton on the way, and I have King Conan on the way. Non-human, I have Optimus Prime, the dead one, on the way. But I've pre-ordered these over a year ago, and I don't know what the final products even look like. Like, I'm going to be tight. If Lemmy and Cliff Burton show up and they look like shit, I'm going to be tight. Because I haven't seen... I pre-ordered it, paid for it, and haven't seen a non-3D render of it. So, if these are good, and they release more members of Motorhead and Metallica or other thrash metal band Ultimates, I'll keep buying them. But I'm tired of the waiting a year thing, and like, it's ultimately, no pun intended. Ultimately, a lot of us are too experienced at this point to see a 3D render and think that's exactly what we're getting. That's just not. It's just not that. That's just not a thing. But I got to go. I got to go pay the bills, as they say. But thank you all for being here. Thanks for watching. This was a fun one. I think for once I actually hit everything on the list. Oh, I didn't. GTA is going to Netflix. So you play GTA Vice City and some of the other ones on Netflix. I don't have the article. I forgot to pull it up. But maybe we'll talk about it next week. Heritage Live every Thursday, 8:15-ish p.m. here on Nerd Affiliated. But every Monday morning, as you just witnessed, 9 a.m.-ish Eastern here on Nerd Affiliated, Nerdy Coffee. 2 different shows, 2 different vibes. Either way, you're stuck with this guy. As T3 said earlier, they're doing another round of Undisputed. Yours truly will be there. Make sure you subscribe over at T3 Collects. There you go. 9 p.m. Eastern on 12/12. Your boys showing up in the chat with the belt, hitting some heads with the chair, laying the smackdown. Let me know what you think down below about all of this. Is there any way that Disney can be redeemed at this point? Can Marvel be redeemed? Is there a director you think that can save the day? And will Super 7 figure it out? Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to all you nerds in the next video. Peace. I'm out of here. I was very like Japanese girl like.